Thank you again, Chairman, members of the committee. You likely recall that I was here before you last session regarding the childhood sexual abuse I suffered and the need for my legislation. I noticed some oppositional testimony against my bill last year, which reveals that perhaps there are some who do not really comprehend what child abuse feels like. I would like to color in the picture to make it a bit clearer for those who are not able to understand it, and why the penalties we impose should at the very least slightly match the crime. Suspended sentences are wholly insufficient for a guilty first-degree sex offender who pleads down to second degree and then escapes jail time. I had no way to cut a deal to escape the abuse I suffered. So why should my offender escape consequence? How do I escape my lifelong consequences? To be clear, as a survivor of childhood sexual abuse, I can tell you that it is a very lonely place. It is outright murder of the soul. When you are abused, you are the property of your abuser, as you are subject to their dictates and control. You must do what you are told. You must live with the constant awareness at all times that you cannot step out of line, make the wrong move, or say the wrong thing without potential severe consequences at any given moment, depending on his mood. There is no escape. You perpetually walk on eggshells. For the pedophile, it is about power and control. Imagine as a child, for example, being sat on or held down by an overpowering adult, much larger than yourself, without any means of escape, while the pedophile has his way with you. You are powerless to resist. Liberty is not part of the equation for you. You don't get to choose whether or not you want to be released from bondage. That personal choice is not yours to make. Does this scenario sound even slightly familiar? It doesn't end there, because the abuse travels into every aspect of your life. You don't get to enjoy restful sleep most nights because your abuser relentlessly feels like having some fun late into the evening. You can't do your homework or even retain what you learn because at the whims of your abuser, your studies are constantly interrupted. Every single day, it barely ever stops. You don't get to take off your sweater during an 80-degree sweltering hot school day because you need to keep that on to cover the bruises, cuts, welts, scrapes, and scratches. Regardless of whether you are feeling well that day or not, you must remain at the ready to pull a distraction tactic when you notice your abuser assaulting your sibling so you can protect him even at your own expense. You must spend your childhood years trying to devise a way to escape without anyone getting hurt or killed. Afterwards, you must then spend years trying to overcome the effects of abuse on not just yourself, but on your entire family. Every person in that family is now affected, not just the victim, everyone. For those who don't realize, most victims will never come forward to bring charges because they already suspect that the system will fail them. I would know because I felt it for years, even after I did come forward. No one wants to relive such a horrific experience only to be let down like I was. Justice is liberation for the victim, and it's time to take off the shackles. The fact that we haven't done more for these silent victims is an absolute travesty. We condone pedophilia? Why is Rhode Island soft on crime against children? I ask you, how will we be remembered if we don't do more to protect all victims of such heinous crimes? I ask you today to please help pass this legislation once and for all. And I just want you to know that this is very emotionally draining for me every single time that I have to come and testify on this, but I am not about to give up. Thank you for your attention in this matter.